Ever since the Iron Curtain fell, a new map has been drawn across Europe, one that places NATO forces closer to Russia's borders than at any other point in modern history. This isn't just a simple line on a map. It's the culmination of decades of strategic shifts, political realignments, and a fundamental redrawing of power dynamics. Today, we read diving deep into a question that keeps military strategists and world leaders awake at night. Is the new Cold War no longer cold? Let's rewind a bit. After the Soviet Union dissolved, NATO began a process of eastward expansion. One by one, countries that were once behind the Iron Curtain, part of the Warsaw Pact, or even the Soviet Union itself, joined the Western Military Alliance. Nations like Poland, the Czech Republic, Hungary, the Baltic states Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania saw NATO as a security guarantee, shield against potential future aggression from their powerful eastern neighbor. From a Western perspective, this was a story of self-determination. These were sovereign nations freely choosing their own alliances, seeking stability and partnership with democracies. It wasn't about aggression, it was about offering a protective umbrella to those who asked for it. But if you look at this from Moscow, the picture is starkly different. Imagine watching a rival military alliance, originally formed to contain your predecessor state, slowly creep closer and closer to your doorstep. What looks like a voluntary union from one side can feel like a deliberate, slow-motion encirclement from the other. For Russia, each new NATO member was another link in a chain being forged around its western frontier. This perception of being cornered has been a central theme in Russian foreign policy for years, fueling a sense of grievance and mistrust that has only deepened over time. This dual perspective is crucial. It's not about picking sides. It's about understanding that two opposing, yet internally logical viewpoints have been on a collision course for decades. Now, fast forward to today. The recent additions of Finland and Sweden to NATO have completely transformed the strategic landscape. This isn't just another incremental step, it's a seismic shift. Finland shares an over 800-mile border with Russia, instantly doubling the length of the direct NATO-Russia frontier. Suddenly, NATO isn't just in Eastern Europe, it's firmly planted in the Arctic, a region of growing strategic and economic importance. Sweden's membership turns the Baltic Sea into what some analysts are calling a NATO lake, dramatically strengthening the security of the Baltic states and Poland. This new northern flank creates a continuous, fortified line from the high north all the way down to the Black Sea. What was once a buffer zone has now become the front line. For NATO, this strengthens collective defense. For Russia, it confirms their long-held fears of encirclement. In response to these changes, both sides are ramping up their military presence. We're seeing more troops, more advanced weaponry, and more frequent, larger-scale military exercises right on this new, extended border. NATO is deploying multinational battle groups in countries from Estonia to Romania. These aren't massive armies, but they act as a tripwire. An attack on one is an attack on all, assuring a full alliance response. On the other side, Russia is restructuring its military districts, creating new formations in the northwest and bolstering its forces in Kaliningrad. Its heavily militarized exclave nestled between Poland and Lithuania. This tit-for-tat military buildup creates a hair-trigger environment. And then there's the nuclear element. Throughout the original Cold War, the terrifying logic of mutually assured destruction, or MAD, created a strange kind of stability. Both sides knew a nuclear exchange would be suicidal, so they avoided direct conflict. Today, however, the rhetoric has changed. We're hearing more casual, more frequent mentions of tactical nuclear weapons from Russian officials, often framed as a tool to de-escalate a conventional conflict that is going badly for them. This concept, known as escalate to de-escalate, is incredibly dangerous. It lowers the threshold for nuclear use and introduces a terrifying level of uncertainty into any potential crisis. NATO, in turn, has had to reaffirm the strength of its own nuclear deterrent, conducting exercises to signal its readiness. This nuclear signaling, once a carefully managed aspect of Cold War statecraft, has become more frequent and less predictable. So, why is this new situation so much more perilous than the original Cold War? The single biggest factor is proximity. During the Cold War, the main confrontation line was in the heart of Germany. There were buffer states and there was distance. Crisis would take time to unfold. giving leaders in Washington and Moscow precious hours or even days to communicate, de-escalate, and pull back from the brink. The famous red phone was a symbol of this. A direct line to prevent miscalculation from spiraling into catastrophe. Today, that buffer is gone. Advanced missile systems are now just minutes away from key command centers and strategic targets on both sides. A border incident, a mid-air collision between jets, or a cyber attack that is misinterpreted could trigger a rapid escalation. The decision-making cycle has been compressed from days to minutes. There's almost no time for clarification, no room for error. This is the heart of the matter. The danger today isn't necessarily a premeditated, large-scale invasion like something out of a history book. The real risk is war by accident. It's a miscalculation, a misunderstanding. A technical glitch, any of these could set off a chain reaction that spirals out of control before leaders can even get on the phone. When heavily armed, nervous forces are staring each other down across a border. The potential for a catastrophic mistake is immense. Unlike the old Cold War, which was characterized by a tense but stable standoff at a distance, today's confrontation is intimate and immediate. The heat has been turned up. The forces are closer, the weapons are faster, and the time to think is shorter. That's why many are arguing this is no longer a Cold War. It's a hot piece, simmering on the edge of boiling over. The old rules don't apply, and the new ones are being written in real time, right on Europe's new front line. This new reality requires a new way of thinking about security and stability in Europe. It's a complex, volatile situation with no easy answers. Understanding the historical context, the differing perspectives, and the current military realities is the first step toward navigating this treacherous new era. Thanks for watching. If you found this analysis insightful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into global affairs.